With no Brexit withdrawal arrangement agreed, the prospect of the UK suffering a disorderly exit from the European Union now appears to be a more likely outcome. Britain and Northern Ireland's official departure date from the European Union is October 31, 2019. And the process of selecting May's replacement will now begin with Conservative lawmaker and former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson heavily tipped as her possible successor. Let's see how the markets in London are faring with this latest development. Let's talk to Simon from our London studios. Good afternoon, Simon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me on.
Right. Well, Theresa May has announced she will step down as UK Prime Minister on June 7. How are the markets reacting to her departure date?
Yeah, big news here, the biggest news really, and unsurprisingly all the markets are up on that news. At least investors have some certainty now on what is happening, and there's a quiet optimism that with this news there may be a little more clarity on Brexit and what's going to happen in the next few weeks, whereas Theresa May clearly couldn't come close to getting a deal done in Parliament. Maybe somebody else can. So let's take a look at those figures. The FTSE all share is up 0.69% on that news. The FTSE 100 also up by 0.68% at 7,280, and the FTSE 250 is up at 0.46%. Moving to the currencies, and the pound, after a 14-day slide, it is also in the green, up against on the dollar by 0.26%, up on the euro by 0.24%, and up on the yen by 0.38%.
In other news, Facebook is finalizing plans to launch its own cryptocurrency next year, and of course is expected to outline plans in more details this summer, and has already spoken to Bank of England Governor Mark Carney. Is this a topic investors at the market are keen about?
Yeah, definitely. There's the currency that is dubbed Global Coin would enable Facebook's 2.4 billion monthly users to change dollars and other international currencies into its digital coins, which could then be used to make other payments or transfer money without needing a bank account. Facebook's stance on cryptocurrency has actually changed significantly over the last year. In January 2018, the social media network introduced a crypto ad ban, which it said was designed to prevent ads that promote financially products that are associated with misleading promotional practices. I think investors will be watching this closely. Facebook's reach is obviously enormous, and of course they also own the messaging service WhatsApp. So while the numbers of people that use and own cryptocurrency at the moment are relatively small, Facebook does have the power to rapidly increase those numbers in the future.
I guess we can say thank God it's Friday, Simon. So what is the outlook for next week? What should we expect from the week after May's departure notice?
Yeah, so I think next week everyone will obviously be talking about her successor. We're already talking about successors, but I think next week it'll become even more emphatic about who's going to take her place. Former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson is the bookmaker's favourite. His closest rival on the Eurosceptic wing of the party is the former Brexit Secretary Dominic Raab and the Environment Secretary Michael Gove. Some more senior ministers aren't yet confirming their intentions, but International Development Secretary Rory Stewart has confirmed his ambitions for the top job. Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt, Home Secretary Sajid Javid, and Health Secretary Matt Hancock, the Treasury Chief Secretary Liz Truss, and the former Commons leader Andrea Leadsom are all thought to be considering a run at the leadership. The main thing really that the markets and investors will want to know is, will the next Prime Minister be looking to do a deal with the EU, or will they be prepared to leave without a deal? Boris Johnson has in the past argued that a no-deal exit would reflect the result of that referendum 2 years ago. So lots of people in the business world are worried what happens if he becomes Prime Minister. Last year, the Bank of England warned, for example, that the pound could drop by as much as 25% if there was a no-deal Brexit. So I think next week, that is what investors, what markets will be looking at. Who's going to take over from Prime Minister May, and what will their intentions be in terms of Brexit?